ever wonder what fails internally inside of a transfer switch? Here, let's dive into this here. So we've got a transfer switch here. You can see it's gotten way too hotter over on this side. So this is actually the contactor output. So that's going out to the panel. So let's remove this contactor tray here. Let's take a look. We're gonna dive into this thing. I'm gonna cut this thing open. We're gonna see exactly why it failed. All right, screws out, contactors out. Taking a look at it, just observing. See, that's the heat right there. That outgoing contactor there has built up a lot of resistance, a lot of heat. So that's our issue. Let's dive in and see why it did that. All right, we're gonna cut this up here real quick. So we want to get access to the contactor inside there. There's a little paddle that actually makes contact when it's energized. So I want to get access to those pads in there just to see what they look like. So I'm just cutting off the top here, enough to get access to those paddles. Then we're gonna break this plastic out of the way here. All right, so that's the contactor inside there. You can see how burnt it is. So I'm gonna get this out for you here, guys. And I'm actually gonna pop out a good one too. You can see the difference there. The bright, clean or the copper. That's a good one right there. You can see the contacts on it. Good. No pitting, just beautiful. So that's the good one. You can see the bad one there is obviously charred up and obviously built some resistance over time. All right, here's the one I pulled out here. You can actually see where the arcing was happening on that side, most likely due to plugging in a vehicle with major loads on it. That can cause arcing, or cycling of that power with heavy loads on it. And you can see here the terminal is actually melted down. So that arcing and sparking caused kind of a downward spiral to eventually where that terminal started melting out and making less and less contact until it didn't make contact at all. You might see a lot of intermittent operations with this too, like it'll work or it starts humming. This customer actually said that he was saying that it was humming a lot and it was almost like a transformer hum. So it's that lack of contact inside there that's doing that. So we're gonna dive in a little bit deeper here. I'm going to show you guys the melted contact. So the contact on the outgoing side, there's a little piece of metal down there that the contactor or that paddle makes contact with. And what happened is that resistance built up from that initial arc, and then that resistance was there, so it started heating up that point, and the contactor actually started to melt. And the further it melted, the further away it got from that paddle. So that's what happened in this particular situation here, and I'm going to show you the actual melting, see if I can get it on camera here. Okay, you can kind of see it down there. I'm just popping that paddle. That's the contactor that the paddle makes contact with on the outgoing side. So there it is, and you can see it's not clean either. So it's interesting, and there's the burnt out contact floor there. So that thing started melting out. So this is basically how it works. I just want to show you here. So the little paddle, when the relay is activated, makes a connection, right? So that paddle comes down and engages that other, which passes power from one side to the other. So there's one of these on each side. So that's how that works.
Quick disclaimer, this content is for educational and informational purposes only and not professional advice. These systems can be dangerous, so always follow proper safety procedures and manufacturer guidelines. If you're unsure, consult a qualified professional. You assume all risk for any actions taken based on this video.